One of the most humorous incidents of Lincoln's school years was a story he would later use as president to refer to three cantankerous congressmen. In school, it was customary for students to take turns reading out loud from the Bible. On one occasion, the class read the story of Nebuchadnezzar and the golden image from the 3rd chapter of Daniel. Verse 12, which contains the names Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, the Israelites who were thrown into the fiery furnace, fell to an undersized boy called Bud, who had not progressed very far in the art of reading. These names appear repeatedly throughout the chapter. In recounting his recollections of Bud's ordeal, Lincoln said, "Little Bud stumbled on Shadrach, floundered on Meshach, and went all to pieces on Abednego. Instantly, the hand of the master dealt him a cuff on the side of the head and left him wailing and blubbering as the next boy in line took up the reading. But before the girl at the end of the line had done reading, he had subsided into sniffles and finally became quiet. His blunder and disgrace were forgotten by the others of the class until his turn was approaching to read again. Then, like a thunderclap out of a clear sky, he sent up a wail which even alarmed the master, who with rather unusual gentleness inquired, 'What's the matter now?' Pointing with a shaking finger at the verse that a few moments later would fall to him to read, Bud managed to quaver out an answer. 'Look there, marster,' he cried. 'There comes them same damn three fellers again.'" At Crawford's Blab School, Abe and his sister used a textbook that they had brought with them from Kentucky, an edition of Dilworth's spelling book. Through this book, they learned about Roman and Arabic numerals and letters. Many of the lessons were taken from the Psalms and Proverbs of the Bible, and it included the familiar children's prayer, "Now I lay me down to sleep." Abe's stepmother recalled that Abe read all the books he could get his hands on. These included The Arabian Nights, Aesop's Fables, Pilgrim's Progress, Mason Weems' Life of Washington, school books such as the Kentucky Preceptor, and of course, the Bible. As a farmer's son, Abe couldn't spend a lot of time reading. One of Abe's routine chores as a youth was to go to the local grain mill to grind corn. On one occasion after arriving at the mill, he hooked up their old mare to the arm of the corn grinder and began urging her along. Having previously complained that his dog could eat the meal as fast as the horse could grind it, he decided that to speed the mare up, he would occasionally prod her with, "Get up, you old hussy," and apply a switch. The mare evidently grew tired of this routine. In the midst of Abe's admonishment, after he said, "Get up," she gave him a swift kick to the forehead. The owner of the mill hurried in, picked up the senseless boy, and sent for Abe's father. Abe lay unconscious all night, and he was apparently killed for a time. The next day he started to regain consciousness. His frame jerked for an instant, and he awoke, blurting out the words, "You old hussy." Being people of faith, Thomas and Sarah Lincoln became members of the Little Pigeon Creek Baptist Church. This was a hard shell or primitive Baptist church whose beliefs were very conservative and Calvinistic. Abe attended church with his parents and held the position of sexton, responsible for maintenance of the church building. Abe loved sitting in the room when adults were talking and would listen attentively to everything they said. His stepmother recalled that after everyone left, he would pepper his parents with questions, wanting to understand everything they had talked about. Abe would one day say that the only thing that ever made him angry was when an adult talked to him in such a way that he couldn't understand what they meant. Abe had an opportunity to attend school again when he was about 12 years old, and then again at 15. His sense of humor started showing up at this age, as a few surviving pages of one of his copybooks demonstrate. "Abraham Lincoln, his hand and pen, he will be good, but God knows when. And Abraham Lincoln is my name, and with my pen I wrote the same. I wrote in both haste and speed, and left it here for fools to read."
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.